What's going on, guys? In this video, I am going to focus on turns. I'm going to give you 3 key turns that everyone uses, from your rec player at age 3, 4, 5, and 6 to the best players in the world. I'm going to give you do's and don'ts on each one and how to make sure you do them perfect. Sit back and enjoy. First turn I want to go over, it's called the Cruyff turn. This move is highly effective. It looks like this. You take a touch and you work on Cruyffing it behind your leg. When would you use this? The 2 main times I would say is maybe switching the point of attack. If I'm going this way to the left and I don't like what I see, I could crank it back and play it out the right side. That's more if I'm kind of in possession. And the other main time I would use it, obviously, is maybe by goal. Maybe I have the goal in front of me, here comes the defender, and I wind up and fake the shot. Hopefully they commit and slide past me, and then I can finish right-footed. Those are 2 moments you can use this Cruyff turn. Now, what are the mistakes I see when people do the Cruyff? One of the mistakes I see is they either go too far forward or too far backwards. You really kind of want to try to stay in a square, straight line. So if I go this way, I really want to crank it back where it came from. That's relatively straight. So now, the first mistake, going backwards. If you go like this and you don't twist your body, what's in the way? My plant foot is in the way. If I don't put my foot in front and it's here, my foot's obviously in the way. I can't go through it. So what do your youth players do to avoid that? They go around it. Now you're going around it, but now you're going backwards. You're going the wrong way. So look where my plant foot goes. Put my plant foot out of the way. It's turned towards my target. Now I have this space right behind my leg to go straight. If you put it next to the ball, it's in the way. You have to go backwards. That's going to cost you touches and time. Now the opposite, going forwards. If you don't twist your body enough, right? Say I'm here, and look where my plant foot's pointing. I didn't get all the way around. You are obviously going to go forward and go right into the defender. So make sure you turn your hips. Look at my plant foot. It's completely turned, and I can get my hips all the way around and crank it back. So that's the first thing. Get your plant foot right, get your hips right, and that'll get you in a straight line. Another flaw I see with the Cruyff is hopping. I think this is a completely separate move. They call it like the Ronaldo chop, right? When you come here, pop, and you chop behind the leg. Similar, but that's a different move. I would use that as a winger, going down the wing, cutting past the defender. That's not what you want. So again, when they have that foot in the way, like I talked about earlier, instead of going backwards sometimes, they'll just jump. You don't want to have to jump. Can you put your foot in the ground and just crank it back, right back where it came from? Okay, that's the second mistake. Don't hop. Plant that foot, get a lot of torque, and crank it back in a straight line. The third and final thing I'll go over as your don't for the Cruyff is just not selling it. So you can do it perfect, again, perfect, straight line, but what was wrong with that? It was very stale, it was very stiff. It's not gonna work on anybody. You gotta make sure you wind up, really sell it, and then come back. You want that defender who's covering you to maybe think you're gonna kick it and turn their back, and all of a sudden you're gone, all right? So in review, get that plant foot out of the way. Get it turned towards your target. Don't hop, and make sure you sell it when you crank it back. So let me see if I can give you a good one each way. Left foot first, take a touch, fake it, back where it came from. Right foot 2, take a touch, downfield, fake it, back where it came from. You can dribble out of this, you can pass, you can shoot. It all depends on the situation, but avoid those mistakes and improve your Cruyff. I'm gonna stay with the same theme and do the L-turn. The L-turn obviously looks like an L because it's 2 touches, 1, 2. The L-turn, another name for it, is actually the pull Cruyff. That's why it's so similar to the Cruyff that I showed you. You're still doing that Cruyff, but you're not doing the Cruyff until after you do a pull. Then you do the Cruyff. That's why it's called a pull Cruyff. Or the more popular name now, obviously, like I said, is the L-turn. Either way, different name, same result, doesn't matter what you call it as long as you do it correctly. Now the mistakes with the L-turn are very similar to the Cruyff. First one I'll go over, obviously, is not getting this leg out of the way enough. If this leg isn't out of the way, you're gonna go backwards. You do not wanna go backwards. So again, you don't have to move your plant foot as much as the Cruyff, because why? You have a pull. If you have a pull, obviously you can go back first, then go around it to avoid going the wrong way. That's one thing. You got to make sure you turn your hips, like I said. You got to make sure you sell it like we talked about. I'm going through these quick because this is very similar to the Cruyff. We already talked about it. Another thing I see with the LTurn though is that they don't really make it 2 touches. Some players rush it and they kind of roll it all into one. Is there a time for that? Absolutely. There's definitely a time to keep it tight to the body like that, but you don't want to just sandwich it together. Can I see 2 distinct touches of 1, 2? Okay, the Cruyff, like I said, is a great move to work on just faking that pass, switching the field, or going to goal and now dribbling. The LTurn, you use more often than not in like a pickle. If I'm in a real tight space and someone's all over me and I'm just trying to get away from them, doing different things, LTurn in traffic, that's when the LTurn is great. I wouldn't be Cruyffing in traffic too often. It's kind of weird. That's not when I would use it. That's why I'm going over the LTurn as well, because it is similar, but it's more valuable when you're really like, oh, I'm getting pressed, pull it, get away from it, get away, get away, get away, get out, just to avoid pressure. That's when the LTurn is great. Can the LTurn be used to switch the field? Can the LTurn be used to fake a shot? Absolutely. But it's such a good move to use in tight spaces to avoid pressure. Obviously do different stuff in between, but the LTurn is so good in that situation. But same rule applies. Same rules apply. Make sure it's 2 touch. 1, 2. Make sure you sell it. Make sure you turn your body. Try not to go backwards. Try not to go forwards into the defender. Master that just like the Cruyff. Very similar, but different. Third and final turn I'm going to go over. Again, I picked these 3 on purpose because they are similar but different. Third one, pull and hop. It's called pull and hop because you literally are going to pull the ball and hop out of the way. On this one, you're here, pull, boom, hop. It's the most basic of basic things, but it's so effective, especially when you're playing in that midfield or in the center back position and you're trying to keep possession and work the ball around to your team. So the first mistake you see with this one is no one hops out of the way. When you're like this, playing your left mid or left winger or left back, whatever, and you want to switch it that way, and my foot's on the ball, what is in the way for me switching it? My body. My body is clearly blocking my path. That's why it's called pull and hop. As you pull it, you need to hop out of the way. Pull and hop out of the way so you can switch the field. My body's blocking my path, so I pull and I hop. If you don't hop, just like the Cruyff and LTurn, you have to do things to avoid your body. So you might start going forward, right? Some people will drag it and turn their back when you really don't want to in this situation, right? When it's not necessary. You don't want to have to do these things to avoid the correct form of the pull and hop. So make sure you pull and you hop and you switch the field. Get your body out of the way. My body is sideways, bringing everyone this way. Defense is shifting, boom, I switch the field and I get us out the other way. Pull and hop. So that's the first thing. Make sure your body gets out of the way. The second mistake I see with this one is they do a roll. A roll and a pull are 2 separate things. A roll is when you cross over your body. Like that's a roll. I'm going 1v1 and I roll it past the defender. My legs are crossing. That's a roll. You don't want to do that here. My legs aren't going to cross. Look, it's a hop and I shift. My feet are not crossing. Pull and hop, pull and hop. I'm not rolling. That's another thing you see young players do. It's pull and hop. So again, super basic. You're stuck, you're here, boom, play, get out to your left back. Make sure you hop out of the way. Don't go forwards with a roll. Don't do a drag. We don't want to turn our back to the field when we don't even have pressure, right? So make sure it's a little snappy pull. Bop, bop, bop. That's your third key turn that I want to go over, the pull and hop. So basic, but so valuable if done correctly. A lot of times you don't realize that you're doing your moves maybe incorrectly because they still work probably for you sometimes. So you're like, this works fine, let me just stick with it. But you have to tweak it and continue to fine tune the smaller details. Yes, you're doing the move somewhat correct, but it could be better. The professionals just really stress those details. Every inch of where that ball is going on different angles really does matter. Every little bit you can sell it will be the difference. Everyone's doing the same moves. The pros are not doing different moves that they have in their secret little safe that no one else is allowed to copy. You're doing the same moves they're doing, they just do it better. And these little details will help you do it better as well. Practice these turns, get home, keep putting in the work, and I'll see you guys next time.